we get lunch at this time, we do this at that time. You know, why don't you come down here to the community cell, which was the cell at the end that I told you guys about, and come sit in here and just hang out with us. We're going to be telling war stories. We're going to be cackling and clutching our pearls, right? Just talking shit, you know, laughing and shit. And so I took her down to the community cell with me, with the other girls who like to talk shit. And we were sitting down there laughing and telling war stories and, you know, talking about boys and, you know, talking about what we're going to do to our man when we get out and all that kind of crazy shit, right? And so this girl, I could tell that she was really, really struggling. Just like she looks really, really uncomfortable and sad and depressed. And so, but I was like, but she wasn't showing no signs of like DTs or anything like that. She didn't look like she was, you know, coming off alcohol where she was gonna, you know, having the shakes or nothing like that. So I was like, you know, I think she's gonna be fine. Well, in the middle of the night, the whole day went past, and in the middle of the night, all of a sudden I woke up in the middle of the night because I heard somebody kind of like screaming, and then I heard water sloshing around, like splashing, like somebody was wading through water and like splashing it, and you know, and I heard somebody yelling, the rats, get the rats. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, like, are there rats in our cells? Like, I'm kind of getting like a little worried. So I hopped down off my bunk, and my door always stayed popped. It wasn't locked because the door was fucked up and you couldn't lock it, or else I wouldn't be able to get out. Not even the guard could get it out. So I had a cell that stayed open. Okay, so I come out of my cell and I walk into the main pod, and I hear where the water's coming from, and I hear the yelling, rats, get the rats. So I walk over, and it's that girl's cell that it's coming from. So I look inside her cell, and she's standing on top of her mat on her bed, and she is butt naked, and she is grasping at her crotch, saying, the rats, get the rats, right? And there is water everywhere. She has flooded the cell, okay, from the sink and the toilet. And she is standing on her bed, grabbing her punani, saying, the rats, get the rats. So, you know, I was like, oh shit, something's going on, right? Something's going on. This girl's having a psychotic break. She's having like a drug-induced psychosis, DTs, delirium tremens, something's happening, right? And so I'm banging on the wall where the guards, they can see us up from the thing. There's like this glass. I'm banging and I'm screaming, guards. And so they finally look down, and I'm waving them like, y'all need to come down here. Honey, that poor girl was going through the delirium tremens. Okay, she was coming off of alcohol cold turkey. She was a bad alcoholic. Okay, and they had to take her ass out on a stretcher and take her to the emergency room because she could have died. She was hallucinating that rats were coming out of her punani. Okay, and that's all from fucking alcohol. All from alcohol. When I tell you it was the scariest, saddest shit I've ever seen in my life, I've never seen her again. I think about her every day as well, and I wonder if she ever got sober. I wonder if she's okay. I wonder if she's on social media. Maybe she's seen my videos, and I wish that to hell if she did, I wish she would message me and let me know that she's okay, because I had never seen anyone go through that kind of withdrawal from alcohol that bad. Now, I do have a best friend that was in a coma from alcohol for 90 days. And so I know how dangerous alcohol is, but I've never seen somebody have those kind of hallucinations before, besides me. But I was hallucinating from meth, you know, because I didn't sleep for days. So that's the story of the girl who I met in jail, and I think about still to this day. I wonder if she's okay. That looks good. Okay. So now it's time for me to go to prison, okay? So I wake up one morning, it's like 6 a.m., And the guards are like, DeMayo, get your shit. It's time to ride. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, bro. Okay, that's what they do. They come down there and they wake you up early because they got to drive you all the way to the prison, which is like an hour away or so. So I wake up, I get my shit together, you know, which is just like, you know, my clothes, shoes, bathroom shoes, you know, that kind of shit. Commissary. And I jump in the back of the cruiser and we're off and running to the prison. I am scared, you guys. Like I said, I'm scared. I ain't never been to prison before. I'm worried that when I get there, I'm going to get jumped by some lady named Big Bertha. We're going to take that silver and put it on the inner corner. Okay? I'm afraid I'm going to get jumped by some lady named Big Bertha. Like, I'm scared, y'all, okay? I'm scared. I ain't never been to jail, except for the damn county that I was in for that short time, you know? So, when I get there, I'm shaking in my boots, okay? I'm shaking in my boots. I'm scared. And they are mean as hell. When you get there, they're like, inmate. They don't call you by your name. They're not like, hey, nice to meet you. Welcome to the penitentiary. No, they're like fucking pissed to be there. They don't want to work there. They hate their lives. And they're going to let you know that they hate it too, okay? The guard. And so I get there, and they're like, inmate 754077. I think that was my number. You know, come here. And I'm like, okay, what size do you wear? I'm like, oh, a large or a medium. And they're like, here. And they give me some scrubs, some pale yellow scrubs. And they're like, this is your uniform from here on out, which was these pale yellow scrubs. Okay. I'm like, okay. And they're like, follow guard so-and-so. So I follow guard so-and-so, and they take me to the bathroom where there is a shower. And inside of the shower are two black women that are probably the size of Precious, okay? 500-pounders. Big old girls standing in the shower. One on this side, one on this side, and they got a spot in the middle for me. And they're just looking at me, mean mugging me, and I'm like scared for my fucking life. I'm like, holy shit. And they're like, get in the shower. And I'm like, for what? And they're like, you got to get in the shower because we got to de-lice you. And I'm like, what? And so I got in the shower. They sprayed us down with this shit. Man, when I tell you I was so scared, y'all, I was shaking. The girl that I was in the shower with, the two girls, they were nice as nice could be. We actually ended up becoming friends, you know, because once you are in there, you get to know everybody. And they were very nice girls. They were just big old girls, you know. So after they deloused us, then they take us to the hole. And I had to stay in the hole for 3 days. And the reason being is because they're not just going to put you in general population with everybody before they find out if you have any mental health shit, if you have, if you're pregnant, if you're disabled. They have to like find out all that kind of stuff. And so I had to sit in the hole for 3 days. And while I sat in the hole for 3 days, I was actually in the hole with a girl named Nikki. Dude, when I tell y'all, Nikki was cool as a motherfucking fan. Nikki was like me. She was like, come on, sit a spell. I'm going to tell you stories. And so I got in there and she told me all these crazy stories. We were both meth addicts, so we both had so many stories to tell each other. It was so funny, y'all. We just sat there and we just told each other stories the whole night for 3 nights in a row and passed the time together telling crazy ass war stories. So I did my 3 days in the hole, and then it was time for me to go into general population. And the way this prison was set up was it had 6 or 7 units. I can't remember if it was 6 or 7, but it had, you know, we'll just say 6 units, okay? It had 6 units, and there was like 350 girls in the whole prison. So how many is that per unit? Like 50? little 60 girls, okay, per unit. And so that's a lot of girls, you know, that was a lot of girls. So they assign you to unit 1 or unit 2, which is the orientation unit. Unit 1 is the unit for people that have disabilities or are pregnant, okay, or have like really bad mental health and they can't be placed with everybody else. So I got placed in unit 2, which was the orientation unit, okay? So you go into unit 2 and basically they assign a prisoner to you that has been there for a while to basically teach you everything you need to know. Because you're not just going to come up in there and know what to do. You have to know, you have to make your bed military style. You have to march in a deuce. You have to chant a cadence. Okay, everywhere you go. Like, it was serious military style training. Okay, and so everything we did had to be done the military way, military time, everything. That was actually kind of like, I liked the way the prison was set up because I was given a job. Okay, so I just wasn't sent there and like expected to like sit on my ass and not do anything all day long, right? Like, when I got there, the first week I was there, I was assigned a job. Okay, and the job that they assigned to me, I'll never forget it, you guys, was CWC. Okay, CWC stood for Compound Work Crew. Okay, we're going to use this compound work crew. And what the compound work crew would do is we would mow the lawn, we would paint the buildings, we would do any kind of construction that was being done, anything outside and manual labor was done by CWC, the compound work crew. Another BK Beauty brush linked in my TikTok shop. Then we're going to take these highlighters. So I'm out there, baby, and the first week I'm locked up, I'm mowing the fucking lawn, y'all. That's my job. Okay, so I'm out there, I'm mowing the lawn, I'm getting it, I'm fucking working my little ass off. It's hot as fucking balls out there. And one of the guards sees me walking by on, you know, mowing the lawn. And I'm working hard. She's like, hey, come here. What's your name? You're new here, aren't you? I was like, yes, ma'am. And I was like, my name's, you know, DeMayo, Nicole DeMayo. And she's like, oh, okay, go tell the guard that I'm taking you with me. And I was like, what? I used a mixture of the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin and the Danessa Myricks Vision Cream Cover. And I'm like, do what? And she's like, go tell the guard, your guard, that you are coming with me. I am pulling you off of CWC. And I was, okay. She was like, just trust and believe you're going to want to come with me. Because, baby, you think that it's hot right now, wait until the dead of the summer comes. And so I was like, yes, ma'am. So I went and told my guard, who was over CWC, that the guard wanted to take me to work for her in laundry. And I had to get permission from the guard that I worked for. She had to like let me, you know, let go of me to let me go with this guard. And she looked at me and she's like, you don't understand how lucky you are, girl. You're a new person too, and you're getting to go work in laundry. And she goes, I'm not gonna put salt in your game. Go on, girl. And she was a black lady. Go on, girl. Go work for the laundry. And I was like, thank you. And I ran off with the laundry guard. And I got in there and she said, you have no idea how lucky you are. This job is coveted. People in the jail, in the prison, everybody either wants to work in laundry or food. Okay? So you have no idea how lucky you really are. And so I worked in laundry from the time I got there basically till the time I left. And what was so great about working in laundry is that when it was time for you to go, like when it was time for me to leave and go home, I got to choose who my replacement was going to be. So that way they could get out of their shitty job that they were having to work. So, yeah, I'll never forget that lady coming to get me and pulling me off CWC, because that was one of the highlights and one of the best things that happened to me when I was locked up, and was such a nice gesture for her to save me from working out there in that. You guys, it's like 110 degrees in Arkansas during the summer. Like, it's no fucking joke, okay? And I got there, I think, around like March or so. So it was like springtime, you know? And so it was fixing to start getting hot outside. Oh, but she rescued me. Who did I choose when I left? Gosh, I wish I could remember the girl's name. Okay, but I'll tell you about her, okay? So she was about 17, 18 years old, and I'll never forget it when she came onto the compound. She had carrot top red hair, and she was put in the unit with us. And I immediately noticed that she was only a kid, like she was a teenager. She wasn't even 18. I think she might have had just turned 18. And so I was like, hey girl, what did you do to get here? Like, why are you here? And she shared with me that she was addicted to Roxy's, and that she got busted for trafficking in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And so I immediately took her under my wing and was just there for her like a big sis, you know? I've always had like a really special place in my heart for, you know, people that are, you know, a little bit younger than me and that struggle with addiction. Even whenever I was locked up, I was trying to help people that struggled with addiction. That's just the kind of person I am. I love helping others. And so that's who I had replace me, was her. She was like my little sister, you know. But let me just tell you a little bit about laundry crew, okay? So every morning to do laundry, when we woke up, we had to wake up at 2:30 in the morning, every morning, okay? And what we would do is we would gather up the 2 laundry baskets out in front of our unit. So every unit, 2 girls worked in laundry per unit. So there was 12 of us. Ooh, those wings look good. Damn, mouse, that cut you, bitch, wing. Okay, so laundry there was 12 of us. 2 girls from each unit, okay? So, what was the girl that worked with me? I think Alicia, black girl. She had hazel eyes that were golden, y'all. They were golden. I was in prison for less than a year. I think I did 6 months. So, yeah, I was a short timer. So the way it worked was at 2:30 in the morning, we had to wake up, get dressed really quick. No showers in the morning. You had to take your shower at night. Get dressed really quick, and then me and Alicia, she would grab one bag and I would grab the other bag. When I tell you guys, these bags were so big and heavy. They were full of 60 girls, colors and whites, okay? And so we would drag these fucking bags to the driveway of our unit, right? And the guard would drive around and she would stop at each unit, and then the other girls that were already walking with the truck or riding on the back of the truck would help us grab one bag. It took about 7 of us to pick up one bag and hurl it over into the bed of this truck, okay? By the time we got all the bags stacked, it was like a pyramid on the top of this truck. 2 girls would ride on top of the pyramid, 2 girls would ride on the base of the pyramid, okay? And then strap something down to the sides of the bed so it would hold it down. And then 2 girls would ride in the front and the rest of us would walk behind the truck. And the way laundry was the whole compound was like circle like this, and then off to the side was the laundry building all the way down this like dirt road, which was connecting to the men's prison. So on the way there, we could see the guys, they would see us, they would whistle at us, we'd be like, you know, all that stupid shit. But on the way to laundry, there was this big well in the middle of the road, a well, like a water well. And every morning on our way down there, we would hear this like this like really like just crazy sound, right? When I tell you guys, I was like, what is that sound? I had never heard it before. They're telling me it's a fucking bullfrog. And I'm like, a bullfrog? That's a bullfrog? When I tell you, I go down to this fucking well and I look over the edge of this well, and the bullfrogs in this well are bigger than my motherfucking dome piece. And they're like, whoa, and that big bubble thing's coming out of their neck, you know? All morning long, dude. Thank you, sassy girl. Thank you for the gifts, y'all. And I mean, it was like the highlight of my morning, every morning, to go down and talk to these fucking bullfrogs in this well, you guys. I was fascinated by it. Fascinated, okay? And so every morning we would go down there. I would talk to the bullfrogs, you know. Me and the girls, we talked the guard into bringing a radio from home so we could play music down there. And so we got to listen to free world music. Baby, when I tell you, it was everything to have them rap songs on while we were fucking loading them washers and dryers. But that's not even the best part of it, okay? So we got our rap music on. We got our fucking songs playing in the background. We're fucking working our asses off. Now remember, all the laundry bags are separated, right? Whites are in one bag, colors are in the other bag. So when we get down there, we have to immediately start stuffing the washing machine full, okay? And when I mean stuffing, I mean like packed to the fucking brim, okay? It would take 2 to 3 girls to pack these washers full. We would pack them motherfuckers full as they could be packed, okay? And then we would, you know, put the soap in and watch while it, you know, did its thing. We would have 2 washers going, 2 or 3 washers. I think there was there 3 or 4 washing machines? There was like, I want to say there was 3 washers and 3 dryers. But these were huge industrial size washers and dryers, okay? So we're down there and, you know, we're just wanting to have a good time. We're locked up. And one of the girls tells me, hey, you like to ride roller coasters, don't you? I was like, hell yeah, I love roller coasters, bitch. What you talking about? She said, get in the dryer. I was like, what do you mean get in the dryer? She's like, beach. I said, get in the dryer. So I get in the dryer, okay? She shuts the heat off, but she turns the dryer on. And I am going, woo, 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 just like a roller coaster in this fucking dryer, you guys. I come out of there, and I look like I'm drunker than Cooter Brown. But I'm not. I'm sober as a judge, baby. I'm just having fun. When I tell you, me and them girls, we'd get in them dryers and ride it like we were riding a roller coaster at Disneyland, y'all. Okay, we was having the time of our lives, laughing so hard. Oh my gosh, we were laughing so hard. So this is the glitter that I have on the inner corner of my eyes, is the $4 glitter I have linked in my TikTok shop. Check it out, you guys. So, yeah. So that guard was such a sweetheart, you guys. She was a good lady. She would bring us, I remember it was the 4th of July, and she brought us ribs, macaroni and cheese, fried chicken. When I tell y'all, I cried eating that fried chicken because it meant so much to me that she brought us food from the free world. for July 4th, you know? And we would sit down there and we would savor every fucking bite of that fried chicken and then fucking mashed potatoes and then fucking green beans and all the stuff that she would bring us. This is Stone by Mac. Then one day I was down there with my girls, and one of the girls was out back facing the guys' prison. And it was really, really early. I could see smoke coming from her. And I'm like, who's smoking? Y'all, they had done snuck cigarettes down there. Somehow somebody got cigarettes. Now that is contraband, okay? And you could get in a lot of trouble for having contraband. Like you could get time added onto your sentence. So I remember I hadn't smoked a cigarette in, oh God, I don't even know how long. And I wanted to hit it so bad. So I walked over and they're like, girl, get out of here, hurry. You can hit it. And so I hit the cigarette. And I remember that guard was so amazing because she seen us over there hitting that cigarette. And she could have got us in trouble. She could have called on us, you know? But she didn't. She let us have our little moment smoking that cigarette. And, you know, when you're locked up and you have, you know, little moments like that, smoking a cigarette or having free world food, it means so much to you, you know? And prison taught me so much. And prison taught me how to be grateful. Prison taught me how to be grateful for what I have. And it also taught me how to make the best out of any situation. You know, it taught me, oh yeah, that's beautiful. It taught me how to make do with anything. Anything. It taught me that anybody can be there. It doesn't matter. You're one decision away from getting locked up. Anybody can get locked up. I met people there that were there for fucking dumb shit like marijuana, okay? That were in prison for weed. Like, what? So, it also taught me to never judge somebody by their mistakes that they made in life. Because anybody can make a mistake and end up in a position where they don't have their freedom. But, so I would be down there, and guess how long it would take us to do all that laundry, y'all? And we was hustling, okay? I'm not talking like, we weren't bullshitting, you know? Every now and then we would have a little bit of fun. Like I said, this is Thanks it's Mac and Stone lip liner. So let's put some mascara on. I would be down there from 2:30 in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon every day. Every day. Monday through Friday, okay? We would work on Saturdays, and then Sundays we had off. But Saturdays were usually a half day, so we would only do, I think, our colors. We wouldn't do the whites. So it wouldn't take as long on Saturdays. But you know what? I would have worked all the days to be down there with my girls because we all got really close and we got to know each other. and we leaned on each other, you know. One thing about this prison, the way it was set up, was it was a therapeutic community. They call it snitch camp. Basically, in this community, in order to gain status in the community, you had to write people up for infractions. Okay, luckily for me, I didn't have to write anybody up because I was a short timer. Okay, and what that means is no matter what, I was going to get out on the date that I was meant to be released. Okay, so I didn't have to book tickets on people to gain status. But the way it was set up was you had to book tickets on people to gain status to be able to get to a certain status to where you leave the prison. Okay, and somebody was trying to argue with me in the comments going, oh, there's no way they can hold you there. This was not like a prison. This is a therapeutic community. Yes, they could keep you there if they wanted to. There was girls that were there for longer because they didn't comply with the program. They didn't do the program. And so they had to stay there longer. So I'm not making it up. Okay? This isn't just like a regular prison where you go and you do your time. This was a therapeutic community. Oh, thanks, Ashley. That's really sweet of you to say that. I really appreciate that compliment. And the reason why it was like this was because it was a prison set up for non-violent offenders, okay? So 99.9% of the people locked up in this prison were drug addicts. They had drug charges, okay? When I was locked up, there was one time that the whole prison almost started a riot. And I'll tell you what happened. So I got locked up in 2009. I think it was 2010 when this girl got there. So this girl, her name was Amber Turley. Back in 2008, I think it was, she drove her car into a body of water, a lake, pond, something like that. And in the back seat of her car were her 3 sons. I think they were like 8 or 6, 4, and 2. They were very young. And all 3 of her sons drowned. So we're all locked up in prison, and you know, we hear about what's going on in the free world, and so people knew what this girl's charges were. Next thing I know, they're bringing her into our prison, and when I tell you, the inmates were pissed because this bitch killed her kids. Okay, so basically, what had happened was she had been at a party that night, okay? And she had been drinking and she had taken Xanax. And I guess she was really fucked up, and that's how she ended up driving her car into that water. Baby, I don't care how fucked up I am. I'm not driving my car into water and like I would know that my kid was in the car. Like I don't understand it. But she got brought into the prison, and shortly after she got there, I left. But when I tell you, they were going to beat the brakes off that bitch. Okay? And I don't know if they ended up doing it to her or not. I know that she was like in protective custody where she wasn't put with us right away, but I left before she was like put into regular population. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that situation? I think that's so fucked up. Like, maybe she was really fucked up and didn't realize that she drove her car into the water. But, like, you still know you have 3 kids in the back seat, you know? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I buy that. But, yeah, that happened. And people were pissed that she was even allowed in our prison. Her name was Amber Turley. She drove her car into water, in a body water in Arkansas, and I think in 2008. I think she's probably out now. Yeah, for sure. Okay, that is our prison. That's our prison eye look, you guys. I think a lot of people thought that she did it on purpose. You know what I mean? But I don't know. What do y'all think? And listen, I'm a drug addict in recovery. I've drove many times fucked up, right? But not so fucked up that I didn't know my kid was in the car, or I drove and forgot about him or something like that. You know, so that's why I don't get it. But, you know, like I said, I'm not going to judge. It's not for me to judge. Okay, see this color right here? This is called No Regrets by Sephora Collection. It's like a beigey nude. There we go. So I'll tell you one more story, okay? So while we were in prison, okay, because it was a therapeutic community, if a situation happened, okay, let's say a bunch of the inmates were acting out, right? Fighting over each other, right? Having a lot of times the problems that would arise in the prison were because of women fighting over each other, the girlfriends. Okay, so let's say there was a bunch of women drama, girls fighting over each other, bullshit like that. What would happen, because it was a therapeutic community and everybody's, like, your behavior affected me, right? Thank you. What would happen was the guards would put us on this thing called Tight House. Tight House. What is Tight House? Tight House is when you have to clean and not sleep. So what do I mean by that? I mean, you have a toothbrush and you are scrubbing the wall for 24 hours straight. You're not allowed to sit down. You're not allowed to lay down. You're not supposed to take breaks. You are scrubbing the walls. I'm going to have my chicken soup for dinner. So one weekend, we all got put on Tight House. That means from Friday to Sunday, we're scrubbing the fucking walls. Oh my gosh, you guys, when I tell you, it was miserable. And we would try our hardest to make the best out of the situation, but you know, it sucks. So because I was in laundry, a lot of times we would get to do our Tight House on our job location. And the guard that was over laundry was so amazing. she would like, you know, let us take a break and stuff like that. But she couldn't do too much because she didn't want to lose her job, you know? We're on Tight House and we're scrubbing, right? And next thing I know, I hear, woo, 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 woo. And it is the tornado alarms. Bitch, I don't know if y'all know this about Arkansas, but we be having tornadoes up in here. We have some tornadoes. And there was a tornado. Nathaniel, Little Rock, Arkansas got demolished last April. Remember? Anyway, my son's talking, saying we don't have tornadoes. Yes, we do. So the tornado siren is going off, and it is touching down close to where we're at in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So you can imagine all the prisoners, all the girls are freaking out. We're all scared. And so we all have to go into the gym, all 350 of us, and get on the ground and kneel on our knees with our heads in between our legs like you do when you're a kid in grade school. And wait for this fucking tornado to pass. When I tell you guys, oh my God, I was so fucking scared. So, yeah, during that time though, there had been some kind of outbreak, okay? And yes, I mean like a viral outbreak. And a lot of girls had started complaining about like being really nauseous and spiking really high fevers. Okay, so imagine we're all in close proximity to each other because we are trying to wait out this tornado, and people were sick. People were getting this sickness, this weird sickness. Y'all, there was a whole fucking outbreak, like a panini, a pandemic in the prison. Okay, because we're like our own city, right? Where hundreds, not 10 girls, not 12 girls, hundreds of girls are projectile vomiting, are having fevers of 101. Bitch, they had to quarantine us in the prison. So the sick people had to go in this place and not leave it, and the well people couldn't go around the sick people. I had, this was back in 2009, 2008. So, sorry, my dog, as you can see, scratches me. I was just looking at it. I was like, oh my God. That was the first time I ever experienced like a pandemic. It kind of prepared me for the lockdown we had here in 2020. So, but I was scared, girl. I thought I was going to get the sickness, but I didn't end up getting sick, thank God. But it was scary. I remember calling my mom because, we had a payphone in our unit. Each unit had 2 phones. And so you could go to the payphone and call your loved one. Usually in the evening time is when we were allotted phone time. This is Mexican chicken soup, y'all.
Bro, hello?
The way the units were set up was you had like a living quarters where there was a TV and a microwave, and then bathrooms with the sinks, the toilet stalls, and then a big shower, one big shower with 6 shower heads, and you had to shower together. Okay, so it was a big open shower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shower heads coming out of the wall. That means if the girl beside you is peeing on the floor in the shower, the pee is running down and it's going to go on your feet. So what are you going to do? You have to wear shower shoes no matter what. That means if the girl beside you decides she's on her period and blood's just flowing out, yeah. Well, let me tell you what the girl beside me was doing one day. So one day, I noticed that there was only one bitch in the shower. And no other bitches were getting in the shower. And I'm like, hey bitches, why aren't y'all getting in the shower? Why is nobody getting in the shower with this girl? And they're like, girl, we ain't getting in the shower. You don't need to either. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's a whole free shower. There's just one other person in there. I'm getting in the shower. I'm going. Right? I go and I get in the shower. I kid you not. This girl is in the shower and she has her leg up like this and the shower head is pointing right here. And she's ding, 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 in the shower for probably 20 minutes playing with her pussy. Oh my God. When I tell you guys, I started yelling and screaming at this girl. I was like, what the hell are you doing? Playing with your pussy in the shower, you sick bitch. And that is the day I learned why nobody would take a shower with this girl. Her name was Sabrina. I'll never forget it. I guess she would do this a lot, y'all. Like it was a regular occurrence. Honey, I told her, you need to stop all that now, honey. Okay? But it was so funny. And from that day forward, I would tell anybody that story in our unit that was new. Don't get in the shower with Sabrina because she's going to be going ding, 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 ding. Ah, Lord.
Yeah.
I did not let her live that down. So, all in all, my prison time wasn't horrible. I made some friends there that I'm still friends with to this day. There's one girl that actually, good evening, that we're friends on Facebook still to this day. And we were actually just talking about our prison time together the other day. She had messaged me. But I remember when it was like a week before I was getting ready to get out, right? Is there more no, baby. No, Poppy, there's not. Not in prison. Not in prison. So I want to tell y'all one other story. So, like I told you, there was a lot of gay girls in prison. A lot of women, when they get locked up, they become gay for the stay. What does that mean? That means they're not really gay in real life. They're just gay while they're locked up. And so when they get out of prison, they usually have a boyfriend, you know? So they're just gay for the stay. No, I've lost 25 pounds. So there was a lot of gay for the stay girls. And I remember one time, this one girl, we were really close. I really liked her a lot. She was always dating a different girl. She was a player. She was a stud. Okay? And she had all them girls like totally like loving her on her. They just wanted her. Oh, well, thank you, Michelle. I couldn't tell you what you looked like because you don't have a profile picture. So these girls would sit there and they all had a crush on this girl. Okay? But there was this one girl that she liked like a lot. So she called me. And she's not on the phone, but called me over. She's like, listen, I got a latex glove and a cucumber. And me and my girl are going to be, and I need you to stand guard and watch for me. And I was like, you mean what? She said, I just need you to stand guard and watch for me. And I was like, okay, I can definitely do that. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you, baby. Imagine if Michelle saw me 25 pounds ago, y'all, when I was heavier. She'd really be thinking something then, huh? So, don't worry about it. Don't bother me none. I blocked her. So I'm like, listen, I'll stand guard. I'll watch for you, okay? Because I understand you gotta get your loving.
I'm in y'all server.
Your loving. And so
Bro,
I stood guard
yelling at max volume, bro.
and watched while this girl, you know, her girlfriend with a cucumber.
Awesome.
Yeah, sassy girl, sure. There you go, baby. When I tell you guys, she said you look really heavy. If she had said healthy, I wouldn't have said anything to her. So, I was honestly, I felt so uncomfortable, but I also was like, you know, like I kind of respected their hustle because these girls, y'all, I wasn't like this. Like I said, I could wait to have sex for when I got out of prison, right? But a lot of these girls, a lot of them were addicts, and a lot of them never matured past the age of like 17. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
Where, bro? No, I'm at the other side.
a lot of them thought it was cool to like have multiple girlfriends and have one girl fighting over the other girl. You know, it was just very, I mean, imagine, it's a lot of women who struggle with addiction.
Yeah,
A lot of women who struggle with mental health disorders.
come to the very, come to the very, now there's like
And
a
so-
shed at the very end, a shed.
I'm not saying like I'm better than anybody, but I graduated high school. I had some college education. A lot of the girls
Oh my God,
that
they're-
were locked up,
Dang!
they weren't like that, you know?
I'm getting sniped at right now.
And so, I have seen some other really freaky stuff I could tell you all about. I've seen girls go down on each other in there. I've seen all kinds of stuff. Now I'm going to tell you a story that was sad. And it was about not my roommate, because we were all roommates. So we didn't have our own rooms. There was just racks set up in a hallway, like in a big room. And then there was racks, top and bottom bunk, side by side. Racks, right? And so I was at the very end, and the wall was right there. So I had the wall, which kind of felt like my own room, but then there was everybody on the other side of it, right? So I had my calendar on the wall, and I would mark off my days. And I was always counting 7 days in a wake up, 10 days in a wake up, you know, until I got out. Well, probably about 3 months into my prison stay, a girl got sentenced, and she was sleeping on the bottom bunk below me.
Oh, my sound.
And she was
my sound.
she was kind of slow. She had like a developmental delay, and I could tell, you know. And so I could smell her. Okay, I'm just gonna be 100% with y'all. I could smell her, and so I know the other girls could smell her as well. And so I felt so bad for her. So instead of making fun of her, instead of, you know, being mean,
Nope, that's not me.
I sat down on the bed with her. She was on the bottom bunk, so I sat beside her on the bottom bunk. And I told her, I said, listen, honey, you stink.
I just tried
You stink. But I can help you. We can get you not stinking.
What do I do?
I said, and I'm not just telling you this because I'm trying to be mean. I'm not telling you this because I'm trying to make fun of you. But this smells like rotten flesh.
Tell the guy to-
And that's when she said, I have staph infection. When I tell you, yeah, they make us take showers, but honey, when you got staph all over you, this poor girl lifted up her shirt. She had staph boils all underneath her bosom. In the crevice of each roll, she would open the roll, and there was a staph boil, like a big boil, right? And I was like, oh my God.
Speaking German, bro.
I said, we have got to take, I said, we got to go to the nurse. We're going to the nurse right now. That poor girl had been living with that for God knows how long. She came from county jail, so she probably, brought it with her from county jail. When I tell you, I ordered baby powder
What are you, bro?
for her off my own commissary. And every night when she would take a shower, I would go with her into the shower because that's how I am. I will help somebody, okay? And she would lift up her fat rolls. And I would make sure that we got that powder to soak up that moisture. Because when you're heavy set, right? And you got all these crevices where moisture can gather up, right? So once we got the moisture under control and she got some medicine for it, an antibiotic and a cream, baby, she was staph free within 30 days and smelling like a regular human being. But imagine, I could have been mean. I could have made fun of her just like the other girls were. I could have laughed at her. I could have pointed. I could have, whatever. Nope, not me. I'm going to find it. We're going to get this situation taken care of. If you're sleeping below me and I got to smell your Famunda cheese, baby, I'm helping you. We're curing it. We're curing that shit. But yeah, staph infection runs rampant when you're locked up. A lot of people get it. And I don't, like I said, this could have been, I honestly think it was like a combination of, her poor thing is struggling because she was heavy set. And then, probably getting one and then this just kind of like
Holy shit, there's actually
getting out of control. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to tell y'all another story about my prison experience. So, my mom and dad, they came to visit me every Sunday. So I think, was it Sunday or Saturday that we had visitation? I can't remember, but it was on the weekend. And we would have visitation. Now, at visitation, only 2 people could come. And you weren't allowed to hug or anything like that. They had to sit across from you on a chair with their feet flat on the ground and their hands in their lap, and you had to sit the same way, like this. Okay? So, oh wow, yeah. Oh, I'm glad that you're sober now. My mom and dad came to visit me every visitation. And when I tell you guys, I will never forget it. Hold on, let me eat this last bite and then I'm going to... Okay. I will never forget the first time my mom and dad came to visit me. They hadn't seen me in 90 days because they didn't come to the jail, to county jail. My dad and my mom got to the prison and they were sitting across from me. And I remember my dad going, I can't believe I'm visiting my daughter in prison. And my mom and dad made sure they made every visit. They were there to support me and cheer me on and encourage me and push me to do better for myself. And my parents were always like that. When I was younger, I went to church, I was in school, I graduated from school, I went to college for a couple of years, I worked hard. Like, I really, really was raised by phenomenal parents. They taught me right from wrong. When I was younger, I really struggled with low self-esteem. And because I didn't love myself and because I didn't believe in myself, I made choices that affected me for the rest of my life. Because I didn't love myself, because I didn't think I was beautiful, because I thought I was fat, because I thought I was ugly, because I thought I wasn't good enough, I chose to use stimulants. And stimulants, medication prescribed to me, started my addiction to methamphetamine, and then methamphetamine to cocaine. And then after that, I started taking benzos and opioids. But it all started out with me not loving myself. Me thinking I'm fat. Me thinking I'm ugly. Me thinking that I'm not good enough. Me thinking that nobody likes me. Because I felt so strongly about my appearance, my weight. And let me just tell y'all something. I wasn't even
You do
fat.
not want to know what I'm doing.
I wasn't even fat, bro. I was like 155 pounds. I wasn't even fat. I was a regular sized
Try to share, bro.
teenager. I wasn't even fat. Now, I'm fat. Back then, I wasn't even fat. But I thought I was so fat. And I thought I was so ugly. And because of that, because of those thoughts, I got on medication. I manipulated my doctor. Sorry, my lip line is driving me crazy. I manipulated my doctor into writing me a prescription for phentermine.
Literally dead.
Phentermine is a stimulant, and I was able to get my doctor to give me a stimulant medication at 17 years old. 16 and a half, 17 years old. And when I took that stimulant medication, it made me feel amazing. It made me feel like I could take over the world. It made me not want to eat all the time. It made me be able to do my chores, and it helped me when I was doing my cheerleading stuff. Because see, I was in cheerleading, I was on the marching band, I was playing fast pitch softball, I played basketball. Like, I was doing the damn thing. Honey, all it took was 30 days of me taking a stimulant drug, and then I wanted to take, I wanted more. And that is when I went to the street and I tried methamphetamine for the first time.
Yeah.
I had just become a junior in high school, and I was smoking meth out of a fucking meth pipe. And a lot of people always ask me, where were your parents? You guys, you can't control what your kids do. You can ground them. You can tell them not to go to this person's house. But once they get to a certain age where they're driving their own car, where they're working their own job, I mean, what can you do? You can't chain them to the fucking house. My parents were busy trying to save my sister Michelle's life because my sister Michelle had bipolar disorder and was going through bipolar manic psychotic breaks and having manic episodes 3 times a month where she would run away, try to kill herself, try to kill me and my sister Christine and my mom and my dad. Like, a lot of really fucked up mental health stuff that my sister was struggling with. So while my sister was struggling with that, I was slipping through the cracks and I was getting high. You know, my mom and dad, they had 3 girls back to back. I'm 42. I'll be 42 in March. My sister Michelle is about to be 41, and my sister Christine is about to be 40. So we are literally back to back, like 15 months apart. And so my mom and dad had their hands full, and they did the best that they could. But that is how my addiction started, was because of my low self-esteem and my insecurities. And thinking I wasn't beautiful, thinking that I was fat, thinking that I was ugly, thinking that I wasn't good enough. Now that I am a grown woman and almost 42 years old, now I know that I am beautiful. Now I know that I am worthy. Now I know that I deserve a great life. Now I know that I am a good person and that I want what's best for people. now I know all the things that I didn't know when I was younger. And now that I'm an adult, I'm teaching my son that he is amazing, that he is smart, that he is attractive and handsome, and he can do anything he puts his mind to. And I'm teaching my son, I'm showing him through what happened to me that using drugs, you know what happened to mom? She went to prison. Using drugs, you know what happened to mom? She overdosed and almost died. Using drugs, do you know what happened to your mom? I lost custody of you for a whole year. So I'm very honest with my son. But that's exactly how I landed myself in prison, was because of my low self-esteem, because I was searching for acceptance. I wanted to be a part of something. I was hanging out with people that were shooting meth. I was hanging out with people that were cooking methamphetamine. And I just surrounded myself with people who were doing the same thing I was doing and accepted me, which was doing drugs, you know? And so when my dad showed up at the prison and he was like, I can't believe I'm here visiting my daughter in prison, I remember I cried my eyes out. I still think, when I think about it to this day, I get very emotional because my dad taught me. He taught me better. And I remember my dad, hey, damn it, Dave, I remember my dad telling me, Nicole, I promise you, there is nothing good happening in the world after 10 o'clock at night that you need to be going to go do. But did I listen to my dad? No. I remember my dad telling me one night I wanted to go to this party so bad in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and it was like not over until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And my dad was like, you don't need to go. But if like your curfew is 11, right? Or no, it's midnight, but you don't need to go. He kept telling me, you don't need to go. And I didn't listen to him. And I went to that party and I snorted a whole bunch of cocaine while I was there. And on the way back from the party, I hit a deer head on. My whole car was fucked. And I remember showing up at the house. I had to tie down my hood because it flew up. It was crushed, but I was able to still drive it. And I showed up in my parents' driveway with my hood tied down with this thing, totally wrecked. And my dad looking at me and telling me, this is why I told you, nothing good is happening after 10 o'clock at night that you need to be out doing as a 17-year-old girl. But no, could I listen to my parents? No, didn't listen to them. I'm telling you guys this because I wish I had listened to my mom and dad. So, you know, it was always emotional when my parents came to visit me because, like I said, my parents were good parents. They loved me. They supported me. They encouraged me. They put money on my books. They were cheering me on, you know?
Hello, bro.
When I finally got out of prison, I remember it was like a month before I was getting ready to get out. And I knew that I had to do something different. I knew that I needed help because I had an addiction, right? At this point, I had been using drugs since 1998 and it was 2010. So by 2010, I had come to the realization that I had a drug addiction and that I was a drug addict and that I needed help. Finally, I realized I needed real help. And so I remember knowing that I needed to find help and that I needed to go somewhere where they could teach me how to live, right? Because I didn't know how to live without drugs and alcohol. I didn't know how to do anything without drugs. And so I called around and I was trying to find a place to parole out to in Hot Springs, the county, the city I'm from. Garland County is where I'm from. And I remember calling my probation officer and she said, oh, did I not tell you? And I was like, no, what? She says, you're banned from this county.
I don't know. It's an area.
What?
It's another.
You heard me. You're banned from Garland County. You can't come back here. And I was like, I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have family support anywhere else. What do you mean I'm banned? That's where my family lives. That's the only family I have. She said exactly what I said. You're fucking banned. If you come back to Garland County, I will revoke you and you will go to prison for the rest of your sentence. You will go to prison, right? Whatever. Bitch, what do you mean? Because I still had 6 months left on paper. So I was like, okay, I can't go back. I had never lived away from my family, ever.
Holy shit.
Ever. So I called around and I found a sober living place to move into here in Little Rock, Arkansas. And that's what I did. I paroled out to Little Rock, Arkansas. And I do understand what she was trying to do. She thought if she got me out of the city of Hot Springs, that I would have a better chance at staying sober.
Holy shit, I'm getting shot.
But baby, I'm going to tell y'all one thing and y'all need to listen to me right now.
Get clapped. Get clapped.
You cannot escape yourself.
Get a guy with a fucking gun.
If you're, hey, watch your mouth. If you're struggling with addiction, you can't run to another city and get away from your addiction. Because baby, by the time 6 months was up, I was relapsed. Only in a bigger city with a lot more options to get drugs.
Oh my god, I'm in a car.
So, anyway, I'm going to leave you guys off at the point where I go to sober living, okay? For those of you guys that are just coming into this live stream, I'm going to download it and put it on my YouTube channel. So if you missed the story time, don't worry. I'm going to put it up on my YouTube channel. It should be over on my YouTube channel within the hour. So if you guys would like to follow me and support me, you can go to my YouTube channel. It's called Discovering Nicole. And I'll be back on tomorrow to tell the second half of the story. So I'm gonna set the live stream for tomorrow at 5. Okay, it's 6 o'clock right now. It's just about to hit 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. So tomorrow at we'll say tomorrow at 4:30. No, let's do 5. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna tell you guys from sober living on, and we'll just keep going until we get to present day. Okay, but it's gonna take a couple of parts to get us to present day, because I'm a storytelling fool, if you haven't noticed yet. I love to tell a story. I can tell a story for days. Okay, so yeah, sober living, y'all are gonna, I have so many stories to tell you guys just about me going to sober living that you guys are going to die. I'll give you a little tidbit. Okay. So once I landed at the sober living, when I got there, honey, y'all know I've been locked up in prison for like 7 months. So when I got there, my eyes was wandering and I was seeing a lot of candy, baby. I was seeing some hot boys that were living there too. I'll never forget it. There was a guy, his name was Trevor. Okay. Trevor, God, what was his last name? Trevor Crow? I can't remember his last name, but Trevor was his name. And Trevor and me, we caught eyes with each other. And so I made really good friends with this girl named Cricket. Okay. Cricket was from like a smaller town called Des Arc, Arkansas. And she was living across the hallway from me. Who was sleeping in my room? I can't remember who my roommate was. Was it? I think it was a girl named Shannon. No, Cricket was my roommate at first. Yeah, Cricket was my first roommate. But then somehow we got switched and she wasn't my roommate anymore. But anyway, me and Cricket became best friends when I got there. Basically, I got there and the people that live there, they welcomed me with open arms. It's kind of like going to jail or prison, being in sober living, only you have a little bit more freedom. You can get a job, you can go see your family on the weekends, and that kind of stuff. So when I got out of prison, my parents picked me up from the prison and they brought me some jeans and a shirt to wear. And I'll never forget it, you guys. I went to put on this jeans and this pair of jeans and this shirt and it didn't fit. And I was so upset because when I got out of prison, I was 210 pounds. For reference, I'm 194 pounds right now. So I was heavier than I am now. When I went into prison, when I went to jail, I was 145 pounds.
Yes.
So I gained like 60 pounds in like 7 months of being locked up. So I was fucking miserable. And my parents brought me these clothes and they didn't fit. And so this was our makeup look we did on the live stream today as well, you guys. So we'll also do a makeup look tomorrow while I tell you guys the stories. So I was so upset that my clothes didn't fit, but my mom and dad brought me this purple leather Vince Camuto purse. And I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Where did y'all get this from? And my mom's like, oh, we didn't buy it for you. Scott got it for you. My best friend, Scott, he's gay. We had met in treatment about 2 years prior. And he found out that I went to prison from my mom and dad and found out when I was getting out and went and bought me a beautiful leather Vince Camuto purse, which is very expensive. It's like $300 or $400, okay? And so when I got to the sober living house, guess who was there living on the boys' side? Scott. So basically Scott was the one who hooked me up with the sober living because he was living there. And so when I got there, it was like I didn't miss a beat. I had my best friend there. I had a new purse, and baby, I got a job, boom, like that. It was like nothing but a thing. My girl Holly put me on. She put in a good word for me, and I got a job working at Kroger in the deli. And within 5 months of getting that job at Kroger, working in the deli, I was promoted to assistant deli manager. And I was making hella fucking cash. So that's where I'm going to leave you guys at. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. If y'all want to come, that's what time I will be live tomorrow evening. And I will tell you guys some more story. And we'll start at me working at Kroger, living in the sober living house. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the story. If you guys enjoyed my story, please consider clicking the link in my bio and following me on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. Send me a message and let me know that you are following me or that you found me on those platforms. And don't forget to check out the glitters that I have linked in my TikTok shop. That's what we did my eyes with today. So yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central. Okay? Okay. All right. So if you're on the East Coast, that's 6 p.m. If you're on the West Coast, that's 3 p.m. So, okay? Okay. Love y'all.